Diva Speaks Relationships podcast is the hottest, grown, and sexy relationship conversation piece out of the Queen City. No relationship matter is off limits. Sex, marriage, love, betrayal, dating, side pieces, adultery, religion, and finances are all a part of the discussion because your relationship matters. Now, here's your host, the Diva, Angela Porto-Real.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Diva Speaks Relationships podcast. I am so excited to be here with you this morning, and I hope that any person and everyone that is under the sound of my voice, I pray that you are in good spirits. I want you to be in good spirits. It is my hope that you are blessed. It is my prayer that you got out of bed this morning and decided to have a good day on purpose, right? Like, I'm going to make it a good day. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to make it a good day. And I stand in agreement with you on that. So again, welcome to Diva Speaks Relationships podcast. I know I've been MIA. Yes, I've been MIA, but with good reason. You have just tuned in to the hottest, grown and sexy, yet the realest relationship conversation piece out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh my goodness. I got my coffee in hand. You know that if you're tuning in, if it's in the morning, this is a coffee and conversation edition, okay? Let me take this sip. Don't wait, hold on. Yes, oh my goodness, that liquid gold that travels down the back of my throat in the morning, there is nothing like it. I think, it makes me a better person. Yes, and I can see the sun peeking through the blinds right now, and I'm getting ready to have a good day, and I want you to have a good day. Oh, look, I can read. I got on my glasses. So welcome to the show. I see you out there. Is it Reshamper 82? Good morning. So guys, I'm not going to keep you here very long. I got something I wanted to talk about, but before we get into any of that, make sure that you follow me on my social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok is my newest platform. It is growing. Yes. I invite you to connect with me there. So if you feel like you are missing the conversation from the podcast, it is my social media platforms that I do deliver a daily supplement, relationship supplement, to make you say, give you food for thought, make you laugh, share controversial issues, all of that good stuff. You'll find it on my social media pages, okay? And if you are not a social media person, I get it. We grown folk, like we're real grown on this show, so I totally get it. But let me tell you what's going on. You can now find Diva Speaks Relationships, the talk show, and the newly formed ministry. I'm on 5 different Roku TV channels. You heard me, I said it, yeah. That's why I've been MIA on the podcast a little bit. Like a sister ain't got that much to talk about. Okay, yes, I am on 5 different Roku TV stations or channels. Okay, so let me try to name them. I think I got it. The Now Television Network, Access 21, Kingdom Purpose TV, the Agape Network, and Empowered Living TV. So my shows are there. My hour-long show, that's where I keep it a little bit, spicy. That's what you're used to. You're used to me, being all seductive and provocative with you, but keeping it real. If you want that and you want to see me, then go to Access 21 on your Roku TV, okay? So yeah, I got that out of the way. And just to give you a little teaser, this coming Friday night on my hour-long talk show, I'm going to be talking about, listen, if you have never experienced this, if you've been the offender, or if you've been the one on the receiving end of it, this Friday night show I'm going to be talking about, so the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Oh, yes. And, this was inspired by a series of conversations being had with about 3 or 4 different women on a particular TikTok thread. And I want you guys to watch the show. It's something about when a person chooses something or someone over you, and they devalue you, they devalue the relationship. They have no problems walking away from any and everything that the two of you have built together, or rather what you thought you were building together. And they get out there and they get everything that they wanted. Yes, they do. They get everything that they wanted. They did everything that they wanted to do, but in the midst of all of that, getting what they wanted, getting who they wanted, doing what they wanted to do, they got it, but it wasn't what they expected. Yeah, it wasn't what you expected, was it? And it kind of makes you think about that social media meme that goes around, and it says something like, sometimes you have to let people go and be with the people that they think so highly of. You think that this man is better than what, the man that I'm being to you. I'm going to let you go, okay? You think that this woman can love you better or can give you what you need, or you think that she has something to offer that you're not getting here at home. I need to let you go. You think so highly of this person, but understand that once you get over there, once your backside is on the other side of that door, there is no coming back. I don't care how much you got disappointed. I don't care what lessons you have learned. Implement those lessons in your next relationships, because you don't get to come back. But yeah, we're not going to talk about that right now. I want you to watch this Friday show again. That's going to air on Access 21. Please tune in. And again, you can find that on your Roku television, the Access 21 channel. You can also find it on AT&T Uverse as well as Spectrum Cable. You can stream the show live from the station's website, which is tvaccess21.com. And if all of that fails, you can go to the video on demand section if you missed the show on the station's website. And of course, my personal website, which is diva-speaks-official.com. That is a one-stop shop to point you in the direction of everything I just said. So don't even worry about it. I hope you guys have your coffee. If you are a coffee drinker, just know that you are already a part of my family. I love you. Hold on, let me take a sip. Don't hate. Oh, I gotta take another one. This is so delicious. You gotta find those simple things in life that make you happy. Coffee makes me happy. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk. So I figured that since it is Sunday, I would come to the podcast, but I'm going to talk to you like I talked to my Diva Speaks relationship ministry audience. That's where I still keep it real, but it's faith-based motivated. Like, I'm not a pastor, okay? Let's be very clear about that. That is not the lane in which I travel in. let's talk about some things. So, being out of alignment with God's will for your relationship, for your marriage, it has side effects. Yeah, there are side effects to being out of alignment with God's will for your marriage and your relationship. So for any men that are listening to me right now, if you start laughing when I start giving my little analogy, I'm going to give you the side eye, okay? Don't you dare laugh at Diva. I know, I stay in my lane. I know what I know, and I can acknowledge what I don't. So as we progress in this conversation, I want you to be patient with me. So in the description I wrote, the discussion will focus on the severe side effects that are the result of being out of alignment with the will of God for your relationships. The benefits that flow and manifest in your home, relationships, and marriage when God's will and principles are followed. So is your relationship in alignment with God's will for your life and for your marriage? Is it? I don't expect you to give me an answer, but that is something to think about. The next question I have is, do you value being in alignment with God's will for your relationship? For your relationship and as an individual. So let's talk about it. Most of us have cars. And I can remember in my 20s, which was so many years ago. I would never want to go back to my 20s, by the way. I think that as time progresses, I get better with time. And I love where I am right now. I love it. Wouldn't trade anything for it. But that's beside the point. Let me get back to what I was trying to talk about. When I was in my 20s, I remember a couple of vehicles that I've had and not knowing why my car was acting a certain way. I remember taking it the first time. I had a little white Beretta, Chevrolet Beretta. And when I took it to the dealership and they took a good look at it, they told me that my car was out of alignment. I needed a wheel alignment in my car. And as I think back, I can put two and two together. The car being out of alignment and a relationship and a marriage being out of alignment. Some of the things that you experience when your vehicle needs a wheel alignment is you get poor fuel economy. You can't go as far as you would have went had your car been serviced properly. It's harder to navigate the car when you are in need of an alignment, a wheel alignment in the car. I mean, of course, you can operate the vehicle, right? You can operate the vehicle. It's not a problem with getting into the car, starting the ignition, putting the car in drive, and going on about your business. That's one thing. But as you begin to travel, whether that is on a back road, a side street, or an interstate, it takes a hell of a lot more effort to keep that car straight versus if you was not in need of a wheel alignment. Because if you let go of the steering wheel, right? If you let go, the car would either veer to the left, extreme left, in my mind, I'm picturing it. The extreme left being ongoing traffic. Or the extreme right, in my mind, illustration that I'm giving, into the ditch. for a moment as it relates to relationships. Your relationship, a relationship. When you haven't been doing what you need to do, when you haven't had a full service or a tune-up in your relationship, when you haven't had a check-in. Yeah, you're in a relationship, all right? Yeah, you're fully established. You're in a committed relationship. I get it. Yes, you are. But is it getting just a little bit more difficult? Does it require a little bit more effort when things used to be so simple? Some of the things that you used to do were effortless. Now it's like, man, this is hard. What's going on? You're out of alignment. You know, the experts say that it is very unsafe to continue to operate your vehicle when you are experiencing those symptoms with your car. Number one of the side effects that they say that when you continue to drive your car when it's out of alignment, it is you get uneven wear and tear on those tires. Now, the men that are listening, they know uneven wear and tear on your tires, okay? And when you think about that, what does that look like in your relationship when you are out of alignment with God's will for your marriage, your relationship? Those of you who still are in committed relationships, uneven wear and tear. Could it be that one person is shouldering all of the responsibilities in the home? Not caring about how it's affecting your partner. And that could cover a multitude of things, from finances to household chores, emotional support, your prayer life. Are you just leaving it up to the other person to carry the weight? You haven't stopped to look at how it's affecting the other person, because it's wearing this person down. You're not carrying your weight. Uneven wear and tear on the person that you've chosen to spend your life with. That's what uneven wear and tear would look like in your relationship. I just talked about before how it becomes a little bit more difficult to exist in a relationship. Are you finding yourself getting a little bit more irritated with the person that you're in love with or that you love? Are you finding yourself not wanting to come home immediately after work? Are you finding it difficult to hold basic conversations or even just to communicate when this person used to be the person that you chose to talk to about any and everything, and you got total fulfillment out of it? It left you full. Your fellowshipping with your partner left you full. Your fellowshipping with your husband left you full. And now it's like, this joker, I don't feel like talking to him about that. Things are getting a little bit harder when it didn't used to be that way. What's going on? What has changed? What has gotten out of alignment that you haven't really paid that much attention to? Something has shifted in the relationship. Something has been neglected in the relationship. You've been putting something off in the relationship. Just like you can put off going to the dealership to go and get that car looked at, could it be that you have been putting off going to God in prayer about the things that are going on in the relationship? Maybe they started off as minor little things, and you've just been noticing. You've taken note of what you've noticed, and by the time that you're actually plugged in, you've noticed that you've got a ton of things that have been happening, and now you got this big problem. It can manifest. It can get real serious real quick. Have you been putting off talking to God about what's going on with the two of you? Have you been neglecting your prayer life? Have you been neglecting fellowshipping with one another in prayer and in the bedroom? I know it's Sunday, but we're going to talk about it. Have you been neglecting fellowshipping with one another? I don't care how busy you are. Your first ministry is your marriage. Because if you've been talking to God in prayer, if you've been fellowshipping with God, especially for those of you who are a part of the threefold covenant, after you get off your knees in prayer with God, you know that you need to be fellowshipping with your mate. You need to stay plugged in. And I mean that in every way, sexually and communication-wise. You need to be checking in and finding out what's going on with your partner, not in an effort to address problems, but just to make sure that they are okay. You know, regular checkups and check-ins and tune-ups can avoid major problems. You can identify something that you can fix immediately without something shutting all the way down. It's kind of like that car, you know. I'm not a mechanic, but I pride myself on being fairly intelligent. I know that if you go so long without putting oil in your car, I learned that the hard way. Again, I was in my 20s. Don't you judge me. Don't you start judging Diva. I know that that car, that engine requires oil. And that if I don't pay attention, I'm talking to Gayla in her 20s. Okay, Gayla in her 20s. If I don't pay attention to the oil levels in that car, and that if I don't get the regular oil changes at some point, when that oil runs out, that engine locks up. And depending on how new or old that vehicle is, I may not have a vehicle anymore. What's going dry in that relationship that you're not addressing, that you keep putting off? What needs addressing today? What could you address today to avoid the end? The end. You got time to salvage whatever right now, but you've been putting it off. You know you're out of alignment, right, with God's will for your marriage. Because again, your first ministry is right there at home. So what does being out of alignment look like? Let me tell you what it looks like. Because most of us can't afford to be out of alignment in our relationships. You know, the enemy always comes in many forms. We always have to remember that. And he usually has the best advantage is when we are in disagreement with one another, when we are in disagreement with our partners, when there seems to be conflict consistently in our home and in our relationship, when there seems to be no resolution in sight, and everyone thinks that they have a point to prove, and they think that they are standing their ground. Nobody's budging, nobody's compromising, nobody is willing to budge. Emotions run high, and we get to saying slick things with our tongues, Don't let your emotions allow you to be out of alignment with God's will for your relationship, because what comes out of your mouth can impact your relationship negatively as well as positively. The same mouth that you kiss your partner with, that you tongue them down with, that you encourage them that when they need support and all that good stuff, it's the same mouth that can tear them down, break their heart, shatter their spirit. Do you know that your mouth can talk you out of alignment with God's will for your marriage? Marriage number 2, I know that. I'm not laughing but I'm just saying I know that. Yeah. Because at some point, if you keep allowing the enemy to use your emotions as a weapon, when you're angry or when conflict is there, when you are having a disagreement, your partner is going to stop and think to themselves, and they're going to put 2 and 2 together, and they're going to recall the scripture that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. See, whatever is stored up in your heart will eventually find its way out of your mouth, because after all, the mouth is the release valve for your heart. You get to saying too much too fast over a period of time, and we're inclined to believe that those things that you keep saying out of anger, you really mean that. So I said that to say, don't allow the enemy access to your relationship and get you out of alignment with God's perfect will for your marriage. Rebellion. Rebellion. You may be saying, Diva, we all grown over here. Nobody has to rebel. I do what I want to do. I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have to rebel against anything. I do what I want to do. I don't do the things that I don't want to do. Okay, I hear you. Calm down. But let me tell you what it looks like, though. When you know that you're wrong, when you know that you are indulging in toxic behaviors and patterns, when you know that you aren't being the leader that you are called to be in your home and in your relationship, when you know that as a woman that you are talking reckless to that man that you love, when you know that you are responsible for household chores and, the obligation you have to rearing the children, and you know that you are acting reckless with the finances, all in an effort to do what the hell you want to do, because you feel like, I go to work every day, I earn this money, I do what I want to do. If I want to get my hair and my nails done, I'm going to do that. Being neglectful of the household finances and chores, responsibilities, any and all of that. Rebellion. Refusing to turn away from the behaviors that could lead to the demise of your relationship. That is out of alignment with God's will for your marriage, for your life, and it will lead to further conflict in your home. Where there's no peace, there's the absence of God, because God does not dwell in chaos and confusion. When you refuse to stop doing the things that are hurting your relationship, that looks like rebellion. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. Now, I gave you the mild examples, but let me take it a step further. refusing to stop entertaining conversations that are not productive and that does not reflect a godly man or woman. That could be participating in gossip. That could be, you ready? Running your mouth about what's going on in your relationship to your family and your so-called friends. That mouth still getting you in trouble. That could be having conversations with people of the opposite sex, borderline flirting. Pushing boundaries. You know exactly what you're doing, and you're justifying it with whatever reasons that you can come up with. You better stop. You're being rebellious. You're allowing the enemy to stroke your flesh. The enemy's seducing you. You got to do what you got to do. It's going to end in disaster. Rebellion. You're refusing to stop holding these inappropriate conversations. Again, are you running your mouth? You're running your mouth. You know another example? Being out of the will, being out of alignment, not being submissive. I'm going to lean back on that one. Yeah, we're going to talk about it just a little bit. I've been accused of that. I got a clap back though. We're going to talk about it today. Not being submissive, it is definitely not being in alignment with God's will for your marriage. So I'm going to talk to the women about a woman's role. If you believe what the Bible tells you about the woman, the wife being submissive to her husband. If you're not, you're being rebellious. Yeah, you're out of the will because it's just as simple as believing in the Bible that you possess. If you are a part of the faith, then the Word tells us that. I mean, it is what it is. And I get it. Sometimes as a woman, you don't agree with a lot of decisions and things that are being done by your husband. But after all, at the end of the day, I have to say you picked him, you chose him. You chose that man to be the head of the household. You trusted his leadership, whether you said those words verbatim or they were implied by you saying I do. You chose his leadership. So when you are not being submissive in your marriage, I hate to be the one to say it. I mean, I'm talking to myself too. You are out of alignment. You are. Sis, you are. Sis, we are. You got to remember, if you're new to this show, I'm as transparent as I can be without compromising my privacy and my private life. I struggle with that sometimes. I struggle with a lot of different things that I feel I can come and talk to you guys about on the podcast because it's just real. People want to listen to people who are relatable. Okay, and so I'm going to tell you, I struggle with that too, sister. You see, now I gotta come at the men. Watch when you are preaching to your woman and your wife about how she's not submissive and what she needs to do, and using the Bible to back up what you're saying. That's fine. I mean, it's in there. But you know what? The Bible also calls you into submission too. So if you are leading by example, if we're going to go with that, shouldn't you be showing her what submission looks like by you submitting to the will and authority of God? Are you showing your wife how it's done? Are you being the best example of submission in your actions? What does your leadership skills look like in your home and in your marriage? And I'm only questioning that. I'm only addressing that as it relates to you having those conversations with your wife about her not being submissive. You want to see or get a more submissive wife? Show her that you are trustworthy and show her how it's done by you submitting to the will and authority of Christ. Are you leading your family in prayer? When problems come up, instead of continuing the argument, are we taking it to God in prayer? Are we touching and agreeing when we pray about things that come up that the enemy has sent our way? What are we doing? Yeah, not being submissive is totally out of alignment with God's will for our life. Excessive arguments, in relationships, because again, we're all grown here. My shows are for the grown and sexy and mature, people who are down to earth. If you're finding yourself arguing more than you know that is healthy, if you're arguing over things that seem to be petty and insignificant when you look back after the argument, I want to tell you that I need you to go and have that checked out. Look at it. When you're not being agreeable, when there's no resolution in sight, it's like it's argument after argument after argument. I mean, we are arguing over what type of shows we're going to watch on a Friday night. This is a dumb example, but I'm just saying. If you found yourself arguing with the person that you love more than is healthy, more than you used to, I want to say that something has shifted. The enemy has found an entry in your relationship, and it is going to continue to fester until you take it to God in prayer and take the necessary steps to correct it. What happened? Why are we arguing more than we used to? Why are we not connecting? Why are we finding it hard to find solutions to these petty situations that keep coming up? And if this is happening to you, I need you to be aware of one thing. The enemy never comes against his own. There is something unique about your relationship and your marriage that the enemy knows that God has a greater plan, purpose, and blessing for. So if he is coming against your marriage and your relationship, if your relationship has been under a continuous attack from different things, people, situations, I mean, it feels like you are being bombarded with bullshit. Let me tell you, there's a great blessing on the other side of this. Something is going on in the spirit realm that you are totally unaware of. You are a seed that the enemy is attempting to destroy. See, he goes after the seed, because if he can destroy the seed, he can destroy the whole thing. So what is it about you and your partner being connected, being in unity, that threaten the enemy's plans? It's something there. And if it's something there that the enemy has identified, then it is something there that I need you to fight through, push through, and get to the other side, because you have a calling on that relationship. You see, the enemy wants to come in and divide the two of you, okay? He wants to divide that home, destroy that family, destroy your marriage, make a mockery out of the kingdom. A lot of you don't even understand. Let me go back to the other talking point. Your mouth is getting you into trouble. Your mouth is allowing you to be out of God's will and purpose for your relationship because you don't know how to solve your problems in your home with your partner. You would rather go off and run your mouth to people who that you think are your friends, people who you think have your best interests at heart. And then you go out and you entertain other people of the opposite sex, thinking that you are filling a void, but all you're doing is making the enemy happy. Some of the people who are a part of your life are a part of the audience that belong to the enemy. They don't want to see your relationship thrive. What is it that they see in the two of you that you've taken for granted? Some of those friends that y'all think are y'all friends, they're really enemies. They're frenemies. They tell you what they want. They tell you what you want to hear to keep you talking. The more they know, the more they can attack. You got to get back in alignment with God's will for your life. You got to learn how to open up your mouth and use it the right way. Go to God in prayer. Start worshiping. When you feel the need to talk, when you feel the need to release, talk to the one you're having a problem with. And if that does not work, counseling, therapy. Do you have a church home? Is there someone in a leadership position on a spiritual level that the two of you can take your problems to? Because taking it outside of the relationship, and when I say outside of the relationship, it's not always about cheating. I'm talking about, again, family, friends, co-workers, whoever. That is out of alignment with God's will for your marriage, your relationship. All you're doing is involving more people into your private affairs. And what does that really look like in the kingdom too? When, as a woman, we're the gatekeepers of our home. Okay? As a man, you're supposed to protect your home and your family. But then you leave them uncovered when you speak about what's going on in your private life with other people. Another thing that happens when you're out of alignment with God's will for your marriage, for your relationship, there's no pretty way to say that. You got a lot of drama going on. A lot of confusion and drama and discord, a lot of complaining. And it doesn't have to be in your home. It doesn't even have to be inside of the relationship. But let me give you another way to look at it. The connection to the people who have access to you, do they keep shit going on? Is it a talking piece when you and Boo get home, when you're laying in bed and y'all, because there's so much that keeps happening. A lot of drama. Something always going on. Whether it's you, your relationship, or the people that you're connected to, I need you to be aware of that. Be cognizant of that because, again, God is not the author of confusion. The people who have access to you, the people who are a part of your life, the people who have access to your home can impact your relationship. Does loneliness exist in your relationship? Has your partner ever come to you? Has your husband ever come to you and communicated that they feel lonely? Has your woman ever said, I feel lonely, you're not spending enough time with me? I just did a show on that, guys. You might want to go to my Access 21 channel on Roku TV. It's under the subject of why are you denying me? If loneliness has found its way into your relationship, you are out of alignment. Something's going on. Not for me to find out for you, but if loneliness exists in your relationship, there is a problem. Whether you are working too much, whether you are just doing you, something's going on. Has resentment crept its way into your relationship because of unresolved conflict, because you haven't reached a solution in the problems that you're having, because you are continuously disrespecting your mate when you are arguing with one another. See how I'm tying it all together? Now they're becoming resentful. Now you both are becoming resentful. He's becoming resentful because you're not being submissive. She's becoming resentful because you don't know how to lead. Well, she said you don't. Both of you are not meeting the needs of each other. You're out of alignment. You see, you're in the relationship. You're in the relationship, but you see how difficult things have become. Kind of like that car that is in need of alignment. In order for that car to be able to function as the manufacturer made it to function, you need to go and get that alignment. So when you get back on the road, it doesn't require as much effort to navigate that vehicle. Disrespect can end a relationship real quick, guys. And in this world that we're living in today, it's so easy, when you feel like you are not being heard, when you feel like the actions of your partner are just disrespectful, even if they never said a word, even if they never came at you any kind of way by way of the mouth, are their actions disrespectful? Again, being stubborn, refusing to turn away from those toxic ways and behaviors that contributes to more problems in the relationship, ignoring one another when conflict arises, avoiding talking to one another. I've always said this, communication is the lifeline. It's like the blood source of your relationship. If you are not communicating with one another, there is a problem. And on top of that, to add to that, you have to be able to comprehend what the two of you are saying. And you may be saying, Diva, why are you focusing on that? Well, let me tell you why. It's easy to be in a relationship when everything is good. It is easy to love. Oh, you men are so lovable. It's so easy to be with you when things are good, when things are great. It is so easy to make love to you and to please you in every way that you desire. It comes so easy. It's like we want to do it. We want to please you. People don't need more conversations on how to exist in a relationship when things are good. That's easy. We need to start having more conversations about how to keep it together when the enemy has our relationship under attack. When the enemy is using people that we're saying, no, not them, no, I like to address the challenges that come about in relationships, the problems that arise, that we often put on the back burner because we just don't have the energy or the time or the interest in solving it right then. But before you know it, because you put one too many things on the back burner, everything tends to explode at once. We need more people that are going to talk to couples and marriage. And marriage is about pushing through. Everybody, we live in a culture that's yuck. Cancel culture. If you ain't happy, your life too short. I ain't putting up with that. Life so short. I can't. I'ma go do me. Go do you. Okay, and leave that person for someone else who understands and values commitment and understanding that every day is not about kissing your ass. Every day is not about roses. Everything is not about catering to you. It's a commitment, and it requires sacrifice. Yeah, it requires sacrifice. We're grown folk over here, okay? We're grown folk over here with lives, commitments, responsibilities, careers, and all of that. And no one has time for this foolishness. See, I'm all about pushing through to the other side. I'm about to wrap this up, guys. I'm about to wrap this up. Let me tell you something. I might end it on this note. For anybody that's under the sound of my voice, right? I want you to hear me because I'm speaking from a real place. Listen to me, please. I think I'm going to end it on this note. I might. When things are happening in your life, in your relationship, I don't care how bad they are. I need you to always be encouraged. And let me show you how the devil works in the people that you confide in, which is the reason why I'm telling you that you have to watch your mouth and who you are venting to. I don't care how much of a trusted source you have allowed them to be. People have a bad, effed up tendency of always wanting you to pray for their relationships, their problems, and whatever comes their way. They always seem to know that God is going to do a thing for them in their relationship, no matter how bad it is, no matter what is happening. You could be saying to yourself, man, that is a jacked up situation. Wow. But because you authentically care for them, their well-being, and you want to see them succeed in their relationship, you stand in agreement with them, okay, for God's best for their relationship and that they can make it out of the storm. But you better be careful about those people who tell you to throw away your shit, to throw away your relationship, to tell you to walk away from yours. How is it that you can believe God's best for your jacked up situation, but I'm not supposed to have the same amount of faith for mine? So you mean to tell me that the God that we both serve, allegedly the same God that we both serve, this God will do a mighty thing for you? Okay, all things are possible, okay, for those that believe in Christ. But when it comes down to my situation, I have to throw it away. And God's going to be careful about people like that. And if you have identified that spirit in someone, I would say, you need to cut them off. At least cut off what you're telling them. You see, if I can't believe God for my own situation, if I can't have hope for my own situation until God tells me it's over, who the hell are you? What makes you more special and your situation more favorable in the eyes of God than mine? And for anyone who has ever experienced that, you better stop labeling those people as haters and still continuing your fellowshipping with them. If you can say that a person that is in your trusted circle is a hater, okay, you better know that you have indirectly identified them as part of the enemy's camp against your relationship. Haters have no place in my private life. That goes for me. If I can say anybody that I'm connected to is a hater, I can guarantee you this, and I'm speaking for Anguilla, Puerto Real. No haters come into my home. No one that I can say is a hater has access to my home. You will never come through my door. And if I find that out after you've been to my home, you will never come back through that door. You will never have any type of access to anything private about me whatsoever. And so I said that to encourage anybody who would cast hell and condemnation on your relationship when you are going through your season of struggle, but still want you to have faith and hope and whatever for them and theirs, is not someone who is on your side. Being in alignment with God's will for your marriage and your relationship and your life looks like peace, okay? That's what it looks like. It looks like peace. It looks like putting the needs of one another first. It looks like making your marriage your first ministry. Okay? It looks like going to God in prayer when things seem to be crumbling all around you. And it definitely means identifying when you've got a lot of different things coming at you and coming at your relationship. The enemy is after your relationship because he has identified God's purpose and plans for your life upon your marriage. There is great things on the horizon when you get a bunch of boatload of bullshit coming at you as a couple. Understand that. So I need you to find the courage and the strength to continue to go to God in prayer, not only as individuals, but as a couple, so that you can get God's greatest for your marriage. Okay? I hope that today's topic has blessed somebody. I hope that it encourages somebody, because let me tell you guys this. We have more haters out there than we have people who want to see couples succeed. If you are one of those people who believe in abandoning ship when things get rough, if you don't have any type of stick-to-itiveness about you, you might not want to come to my show. I have found my purpose in life and for the kingdom, and it is to encourage couples about relationships. It's about fighting the enemy, fighting the urge to give up. Oh God, yes. Don't give up. Don't give up. Somebody out there that's going to run across this message today. Oh, I get emotional when I start thinking about it. Jesus. Somebody's going to come across this podcast. I'm going to put it in rotation. Somebody's about to walk out and they said, I've had enough. It's not going right. It's just too hard. It shouldn't be this hard. And let me tell you something, it shouldn't. But what have you allowed to continue in that relationship that has contributed to the demise and the end? I need you to own up to the shit you've done. Excuse the profanity. It just comes naturally sometimes. Don't judge me. I'm a heathen in that moment. Yeah. Before you walk out, I need you to be accountable for the things that you've done in the relationship that have contributed to this massive problem that got you thinking you need to walk out. Don't walk out. That's too easy. That's too easy. I need you to stay. I need you to fight. I need you to get to a better place. If it's gotta be over, don't leave right now. Leave when things are more peaceful, if that's possible. Don't leave when you're angry. If you came across this podcast today or whenever you listen to it, could it be God telling you there's hope? You don't have to walk away. You don't have to give up. This was your sign. If you was looking for a sign, you got it. You got it. You're just out of alignment, baby. The engine ain't locked up on your car. Wow. Yes. You just need an alignment. Yeah. You don't need a new car. Somebody want a new car. You better stop that. You just need an alignment. That's a simple fix, but it's going to require a little bit of work. It is my hope and my prayer that for all of the people who have been experiencing tribulation in their relationship and things have not been so good, you've had better times with one another, You've entered into a season of struggle. Sure, you have your good moments, of course. You know that you love this person. That's a given. But it's like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. It's getting to be too much. This was for you. Don't give up. Don't give up. Put in the work. Put in the work. For the men who are listening, you ready to walk out? Put in the work. Show her how it's done. Show her how you're going to lead by your actions. Yeah, show her. Yeah, that's how you're going to do it. And for the women who have said, I can't do this anymore. He is just impossible. Sister, you have everything you need within you to turn this thing around. And I know that if you include and implement prayer into getting this thing back on track, it's going to work. I went outside of my notes. I had an outline. That's what happens sometimes when I get emotional, because I watch so many people walk away from one another when it just wasn't that serious. You felt like it at the moment, but once you spend a little time apart, you realize that it really wasn't that bad. And it's generally people that walk away when they think things are the worst, right? You're thinking things are the worst. Those are the people who end up rebounding, okay? And cheating with exes because they wasn't over their ex. You walk out now, you go get with somebody else, you're going to end up circling right back to the person that you walked away from because you didn't put in the work, and you know it. You know it. That's why you go back. So I'm encouraging any and everybody, don't give up. This is not your season to give up. This is your season to put in the work. Make the effort. This Friday night, guys, tune in. Watch my television show on the Roku channel, Access 21. Actually, guys, if you're listening to me right now, I have a show that's going to air at 1 o'clock on Kingdom Purpose TV. It is the Kingdom Purpose TV channel on Roku. I believe the topic is going to be, what are you manifesting in your marriage with your mouth? What are you manifesting in your relationship with your mouth? What are you saying that you're giving birth to in your relationship? That's going to air at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in what time is it? A few hours from now. So you can catch the Diva on that Roku channel, Kingdom Purpose TV. This Friday night, the grass you thought was greener is going to air on the Access 21 channel. And Tuesday is my Coffee and Conversations edition on the Agape Network. That's that Roku channel as well. So I've talked your ear off enough today. I did go outside of my outline, but I think you guys got some good takeaways from the discussion. I want you to have a good day on purpose. I want you to have a great day on purpose. Make it a great day. Go fellowship with your mate. I mean that the nasty way, the good nasty way, okay? If you've already done that this morning, do it again. Show the devil what you got. Don't let me be a heathen alone. You guys be blessed. Happy Sunday. Until the next time, the Diva has spoken.
You've been listening to the Diva Speaks Relationships Podcast, the hottest grown and sexy relation conversation piece out of the Queen City, hosted by the Diva and Gayla Porto Real. We hope you enjoyed the show. Follow us on Instagram at divaspeaks_official. Let's stay connected.
Diva Speaks Podcast is the premier relationship podcast that explicitly deals with relationship matters from a woman's point of view. No subject is off limits. Relationship challenges, sex, intimacy, dating, infidelity, finances, heartbreak, and situationships are all a part of the discussion. Your relationship matters,